Hello everybody. Good morning. Happy Saturday. Happy day before the Super Bowl. So as I said up there in the description, Super Bowl is tomorrow, and I thought it would be fun to make just a little table decoration to kind of enhance my snack table for the party. Not that we're having a big party, but you know, like hanging out, eating some snacks, watching some football. So why not, right? I've got this adorable, which I haven't used yet, this adorable design of the Peanuts characters and the football scene. If you guys are Peanuts fans like I am, I'm sure you remember poor Charlie trying to kick the football and Lucy always like stealing it away from him, and down on the back he goes. Just cracks me up. Every time I think about it, every time I watch it, it just cracks me up. So I thought I am going to incorporate this into my snack table for the party, or for the game anyway. All right, so that's what we're going to use. And I found these napkins. They're super thin though, right? Can you see me? They're super thin, but I thought they would be really cool to use as part of like the tablescape, right? So the idea is that we're going to put the design down, and then I will use it with my little snack tray and just, you know, have a little extra decoration. Why not? I have the stuff, so let's do it. I think it's gonna be fun. All right, so first things first, I need to get my sticky mat. This one I haven't used. Do I have one? Let me look right quick. Hang on. I do. I grabbed the wrong one. But anyway, I have these little sticky mats that I like to use whenever I am doing the ink, especially when it's something that is this thin, because the ink's going to go through it, and I don't want the ink on the table. I don't want the ink really anywhere other than on there. So that's what these are really good for. You just peel these off. Peel off your little protector sheet, and these, as you can tell, are very sticky. So this little mat serves a couple purposes. I need some room here. Serves a couple purposes. Like I said, it protects the surface underneath, but it also, you know what, let's just do it this way and I can turn it around. But it also keeps your fabric from moving around on you. That way, your design goes where you want. So you put it on here. I've got a Rogue string on my towel. Okay, anyway, you put it on, or under, your fabric, and then just press out any like little lumps or bumps that kind of happen. Make sure it's fairly smooth, so everything goes where you want it to go. And then your fabric can't move on you, right? So it's stuck there. Okay, that's where I want it. Let's just kind of go like this. And I'm going to put my design down, what's ultimately going to be like kind of like this corner, so then I can put my snack tray here and maybe like, you know, a little bowl with some spoons or forks or something like that. Whatever we need. Okay, we've got that nice and smooth. I'm just going to do this in classic black, all in one color, and keep it simple. I thought that it was really nice that this napkin is kind of like a light brown, so it should hopefully show through like the footballs and make them look kind of brown, but we'll see. All right, so we are going to peel off our little transfer, and I'm going to do just this bottom section down here. Actually, I probably could, let's look, get all three of these in here. Yeah, I think so. Why not? They fit pretty nicely on there. Let's make sure we've got this somewhat straight before we get to going. Not quite. Close. Try again. goodness, that's even worse. All right, what's cool about them being adhesive is you can just keep trying until you get it where you want it. All right, but I think that's good for the sake of what we're doing here. Okay, so we got it down. We're good to go. I'm not going to be using this top part, and I think there's enough room in between them where I'm not going to have to like tape it off. But if you were concerned, you could definitely put a piece of tape over there and cover the section that you don't want, but I don't think I'm going to need that. Okay, brand new transfer on fabric. We do not fuzz because we want it to stick to our fabric pretty well. So it's that simple. You just place it down and you're good to go. All right, let's open up our ink. And as you can tell, I've got my trusty apron on because this ink is permanent and I don't want to get it on my shirt. I do not. And then we're just going to go in with our little squeegee, grab some of our paste, and we're just going to cover the whole thing in black. Definitely could do it in different colors, but I just want it all in black. Just simple. And I think this squeegee might be, I don't know, just a little big. We could use the big one, but I think I'm going to stick with my standard size. That way I can get some of this off the lid as well. All right, so we're just going to scoop up some of this ink and just gently start covering. With ink especially, you don't want to press real hard. This fabric is really thin, so it's going to just fall right through the silk screen and go into our fabric. All right, so off we go. But anyway, what are you guys doing this morning? Anything fun and exciting? You guys got plans to watch the football game tomorrow? I know not everybody's a big fan of the football, but if nothing else, generally the commercials are entertaining. So when I was a college student, I studied basically advertising. It was called something different in the journalism school, but basically advertising. It went with my love of photography, so we always had, you know, it was always a huge deal for, even if you weren't like a football fan, as you know, not everybody is, but even if you weren't a fan of like the game, it was always basically like a homework assignment to like watch it, because then for the next like week, if not longer, we would discuss, you know, the commercials, because we were in advertising, so that was like free curriculum for our professors. So I have been watching the Super Bowl for, I mean, I watched it even when I was in high school and whatnot too, but I have definitely been watching this Super Bowl for the commercials since the college days, the good old late 90s, early 2000s. So I just love it. I don't know, it's always entertaining. The commercials are probably my favorite part just because, you know, of the history with that, but the game sometimes is fun too. I like football. I like most sports. All right, we should be okay. At this point, it would appear that I've got everything. Nope, so close. I missed the top of this guy's head. I guess that's, I don't know who that is. I don't know who that is. That's not Charlie. Maybe that's Linus. Hard to tell now that I got it all covered in black ink. But anyway, I think we are good. So we're just going to slowly peel up, and if it looks like we missed a spot as we go, we're just going to lay it back down and keep going. But at this point, we're looking good. See, you don't have to press real hard, and that ink just falls right through. Makes a super cool, clean, crisp line on all your designs. Just keep going, keep going. So far, so good. So far, so good. Perfect. We didn't have to go over any of that a second time. Okay, and as I was saying at the beginning, remember this ink is permanent, so be careful and do not get it on your clothes. Unless you're wearing, you know, like your old paint smock or something like that. So I'm going to just lay it on this backer sheet and set it over somewhere where it's not going to fall. Over here. And then I will wash it here in a little bit. But, oops, I forgot to set my my heat tool, so my Cricut press, I'm gonna set for 300 degrees, let that heat up just a second, clean up my mess to a certain extent, close up my ink, and then we're gonna get this dry-ish anyway, so I can show you how to make it permanent. So what I love about this process is once you get your ink on and dry, you can heat it up, and then it's forever, right? So it's permanent. And then, so if anybody decides to get some of the dip or salsa or whatever on it, I can throw it in the washing machine and use it year after year. So just real quick, we're just, like I said, this fabric soaks it up pretty quick, so it shouldn't take a whole lot, but especially these like heavier areas like the gal's hair and the big S and Snoopy's ears and Charlie's pants. We're just gonna kind of give it a quick little dry so it's not like super wet. Normally, if I were doing this not live with you guys, I would just set it over there and let it air dry, but I want to show you the whole process. So we've got that done. Now we're gonna peel it off of our sticky mat without trying to get it to fold over itself. Just peel it up and then open it back up. Set it there for a second, move our sticky mat out of the way, and then grab this little base here. But anyway, while we're waiting for that, which won't take long, but look what we made. Can you guys see all the little Charlie designs? Be able to see it a little better if I fold it in half, maybe. But see all of them? They look so cute. So cute. Okay. So how we heat set is, like I said, you get it like mostly dry enough. You can definitely, like wait for it to be fully dry, but for this we're not going to. And then I always set it, I got this little mat actually for Christmas, which is nice. If you don't have the mat, you can use a towel. Just put something underneath it so you don't damage your table. And then we're gonna kind of straighten it out, although it's not really gonna matter. This press is heavy enough where it's just gonna push everything down. But it's just how I'm used to doing it. Okay, heat press is ready. So we take a piece of parchment paper, set it right on top. Let's go this way because it's all curly. And then we just put our heat press on it and just kind of move it around so we can get that heat permanent, or we can get that ink permanent into our napkin, right? And just keep moving it. You don't want to scorch your fabric. And we're going to do this twice. 30 seconds. I'll take a peek. Make sure we're not, damaging the napkin. I got these napkins actually from a friend of mine who does palette flipping. You guys familiar with that? It's pretty good, pretty hot, but we're okay. It's not doing anything to the fabric. But anyway, you guys familiar with that? So I have actually a couple friends who buy, like these large palettes full of all kinds of random stuff. And then they are able to pass on some of the goodies to their friends and family and whatnot at a fairly decent price. So I got this I think it was a 6-pack of these napkins very inexpensively. And I originally thought to use them as napkins, but they are a little thin. So I thought this would actually be a pretty cool way to use them. I'm thinking about using a few of them, or trying it out anyway, with our sublimation heat transfers, and then doing like a wall hanging with them. All right, that's good. We're good. All right, I'm gonna set you down. I'm gonna go ahead and turn that off so I don't end up burning myself with it later if I forget that it's on. But anyway, guys, this is done. It's that quick, that easy, and now we have a super cute, a little decoration for our snack table. Look at all the little Peanuts characters. I'm gonna have to stand up because I can't get this. You guys can see it a little better. But look at all of them. That is so good, so cool. All right, let me scoop this out of the way. And then I can let me get my coffee out of the way too. So good. Okay. But then this was my thought, right? I'll put this down on my table, my little snack table. And then I have this cute little serving tray that I will set probably in the corner here with, like, you know, some dips and some chips and some snacks. And then I will probably have, you know, like something else on these little sides depending on what fun snacks we decide on for tomorrow. But just a cute little way to dress up your table. What do you think? You could also just, if you know, could fold it in half too and do it this direction or this way if you didn't have a really big table. But my kitchen table is where all of our snacks will land, and it's, you know, huge. So there's that. But you could also do it like this. And then you have a cute little, like, mini table runner type idea with your football designs, which are absolutely adorable. And then a place, you know, to, like, house your snacks. And like I said, the reason that we went ahead and did the ink instead of paste is now that it's permanent and heat set in there, if for some reason we drop some salsa or some dip or whatever on top of there after the game, after we're done with it or whatever, I can just throw it in my washing machine, wash that dip right out, but the ink will stay. Pretty cool, huh? Such an easy, a fun, just little way to add a little extra something to your snack table for the big game. All right, guys. Well, that was fun. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you are inspired to make some sort of little decor for your table, for your snacks and whatnot. But anyway, let me know. Let me know what you think, if you're going to be watching the game or not. And otherwise, I hope you really enjoy the rest of your Saturday. Enjoy your weekend. I hope your team wins tomorrow and all of that jazz. Yeah, as always, I appreciate you guys watching. I love each and every one of you, and I will see you back soon. All right, guys, take care. Bye.